It's funny. You probably don't think much about the pipes in your walls. But what if they could tell a story? Turns out, something as simple as a local plumber's website can give us an amazing peek into this hidden world. So, let's dive in and see what it tells us.
So, let me ask you, what do you think is your home's most vital system? I mean, really think about it. Is it the electricity, the frame, or what about that silent network of pipes? The one that's working 24/7, bringing you clean water and taking the bad stuff away.
And what if I told you that system is losing a battle you can't even see? Yeah, because that's exactly what's happening. Your plumbing is in this constant, invisible fight with the world around it. And trust me, sooner or later, that fight is going to make itself known.
So, to really get a handle on this hidden battle, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to deconstruct a real plumber's website. We're going to see how the problems they're constantly solving actually tell a super specific story about the homes in their neighborhood.
And look, we're using one suburban town as our case study here. Now, the details might be a little different where you live, but the big ideas, they're pretty much universal. By zooming in on one place, we can start to see those same invisible forces that are at work inside our own walls.
All right, so our case study is a place called Maple Grove, Minnesota. And we picked it for a reason. Its local environment creates what is basically a perfect storm of plumbing headaches. Let's break down the 4 big things that are going on there.
Okay, challenge number 1, the cold. We're talking Minnesota cold, right? Below zero winters. And when water freezes, it expands with this incredible Hulk-like force. So any pipes in an outside wall or a chilly basement, they're just waiting to freeze up and then bam, burst when things thaw out.
Then there's what's happening underground. The soil there is super heavy with clay. And clay soil is, well, it's alive. It swells up when it's wet and shrinks when it's dry. All that movement puts this constant, uneven pressure on the water and sewer lines buried in it, just slowly squeezing and bending them until they can't take it anymore.
And then you got the human factor. A ton of the houses in this area went up during a big housing boom from the 80s to the 2000s. And what that means is you have a whole generation of plumbing materials, the original copper pipes, that kind of thing, all hitting their expiration date at basically the same time. It's like a ticking time bomb.
And last but not least, there's the attack from the inside, the water itself. It's what we call hard water, and it's just loaded with minerals like calcium. Over time, that stuff builds up inside your pipes and appliances, clogging everything up, making them work harder, and causing them to fail way sooner than they should. I mean, it's literally like hardening of the arteries, but for your house.
So you add it all up. You've got the crazy cold, the moving soil, old pipes, and hard water. Okay, so what? What does that actually mean in the real world? Well, let's take a look at the most wanted list of problems that plumbers in Maple Grove deal with every single day.
And here it is. This is where it all clicks into place. Remember those below zero winters? That gives you frozen and burst pipes. The hard water? That's what's killing the water heaters and giving everyone low water pressure. That shifting clay soil? Sewer line backups. And the old copper pipes from the 80s? Boom, pinhole leaks. See? It all connects perfectly.
Let's zoom in on that last one, the pinhole leak. Because this one is a silent killer. It's not some dramatic gush of water. No, it's a tiny little perforation, a slow drip, drip, drip inside your wall. You might not notice it for months, but all that time it's causing rot and mold. And then one day, you look up and see that dreaded stain on your ceiling. And that's a direct result of those 30 or 40-year-old pipes just finally giving out.
Okay, so we've laid out the battlefield. We know the enemy. Now, let's look at the arsenal. How do the pros actually fight back against these very specific, very local problems?
All right, take something like a clogged drain. It's not a one-size-fits-all problem. A pro has to pick the right weapon. You've got snaking, right? That's like using a battering ram to punch a hole through a clock. It's great for a simple clump of hair in the shower. But if your main sewer line is being choked by tree roots, you need to bring in the big guns, hydrojetting. That thing uses super high-pressure water to just blast the inside of the pipe totally clean. It's the difference between a Band-Aid and actual surgery.
The tools aren't just physical. The process itself is a huge part of it. And notice what they focus on: communication, transparency. You call and get a real person, you get a written estimate before they touch anything, and they test and clean up when they're done. This is so important. It's not just about fixing the leak, it's about taking away all that stress and what if for the person whose house is flooding.
Okay, here's a little piece of insider knowledge I found in their FAQ that I just love. It's called the 135 rule. Now, it sounds super technical, but the idea is so simple. You don't want sharp 90-degree turns in your drain pipes. Instead, you use 245s to make a gentler curve so things, flow smoothly and don't get stuck. This is the kind of know-how that makes the difference between a professional job that lasts forever and a DIY fix that you're just going to have to do again in 6 months. It's all about physics.
All right, so this is where we pivot, because knowing all this stuff, it's empowering. The last part of this whole story isn't just about what the plumber does, it's about you, the homeowner. How do you take all this and use it to protect yourself and your house?
Let's be real, this is the #1 fear, isn't it? How can you avoid getting ripped off? You've got an emergency, water spraying everywhere, and you're terrified someone's going to take advantage of the situation. Well, the website actually gives some really solid, no-nonsense advice about this.
Think of this list as your armor. Every single one of these points is so important. Check their license and insurance. That's non-negotiable. Get at least 3 written estimates so you know what's fair. Check reviews, obviously. Never pay the whole amount up front. And this one's my favorite. Make them show you the problem. A good, honest pro will be happy to walk you through it. If they get weird about it, that's a huge red flag. It also really helps to understand why a plumbing job costs what it costs. It's not just a random number they pull out of a hat. There are real variables here. Are you calling them at 2 a.m. on a Sunday? That's going to cost more. What's the price of copper this week? That matters. Is the leaky pipe buried deep inside a concrete wall? That's more labor. All of these things add up to that final number.
And this quote from the plumber site just brings it all home perfectly. Understanding these local conditions makes the difference between quick fixes and lasting repairs. That's it right there. A great plumber isn't just a wrench turner, they're a detective. They're diagnosing a problem based on everything we just talked about, the weather, the dirt, the age of the houses, and that's how you get a real solution, not just a Band-Aid.
So, that brings it all the way back around to you. After seeing how the very ground and air in one town can wage war on its plumbing, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What invisible battles are happening inside your walls? What's the story of your local climate, your soil, the age of your house? Because figuring that out, that's the first step to winning the battle that, until now, you probably didn't even know you were fighting.